All right. Hey, everybody. Back for episode 2 on the Cannabis Chronicles, right? And that what we figured out? Yeah.
Yep.
Cannabis Chronicles, episode 2. Thank you for joining us. I'm back again. Desert Growth Spurt. I got my boy over here, Outlaw Grower, aka Big Daddy. That's more of a personal name for those close to you. So, with that being said, how you doing this morning?
Good.
Good.
How
Hey,
about you?
I'm great, man. I'm ready to go ahead and get this show started off right. What do you got?
You know what? I just got a little graphics bong. That's all I got for the
Nice.
bongs right now.
Nice. I'm actually smoking out of this is my wife's mother's bong to like literally from like the 60s or 70s.
Wow.
Been passed around the family forever. So now I got
Nice.
it. All right, let's start it off right. All right. So
I think that's pretty interesting, though, to know that you're smoking out of your mother-in-law's bong.
yeah, it's pretty sweet, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, short story. When she had passed on, her little brother got it. My uncle-in-law, we actually lived with him for a little bit, and lo and behold, he's like, "Hey, I got something for you." He's like, "Oh yeah, I will take care of that."
That's cool. That's very cool.
So in our last episode, um, we went over a couple topics, training basically. Big thing I think that me and you wanted to kind of just go over this morning is seed germination, correct? Popping seeds.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
kind of the obviously the very first thing you got to do as a grower is get your seeds popped. There is quite a few different ways of doing it, so I kind of want to start with with you. What is your method of germinating seeds?
I just go with like the old school method is uh wet paper towel.
Paper towel.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I obviously I was having a little bit of trouble with a couple of seeds that I had gotten from somebody, and I remember getting in touch with you, and you told me to try, I believe it was sugar water.
try what?
Sugar water, wasn't it?
Yep. Yep. Yeah, that's
Which I
definitely
had no idea about that before.
yeah, I got, you know, I got a bunch of different little like tips and tricks. You know, eh, Nothing's ever like 100%. It all I guess kind of depends on where those seeds are coming from. Um, so yeah, paper towel method. I guess just kind of go into a little bit of detail. You're referring to rolling them up in a paper towel, maybe putting it in a plastic baggie to keep it wet, and putting it somewhere dark for a couple days, right? That's what you mean by paper towel method.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
Yeah. Sorry, I
so
didn't
yeah,
mean to.
yeah, that's the way everyone's been doing it, for forever.
Forever.
Couple
Right.
things. Um, if you're going to continue to do paper towel methods, something that a lot of people are finding works a little bit better is unbleached coffee filters. So that way the tap root doesn't ever get stuck into it because they're so fine, the filter. Tap root
Uh-huh.
doesn't ever go in. You want to get the unbleached ones. Obviously, you don't want, bleach touching on your tap root.
Yeah. 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 You know what? And that is a great idea. That is a great idea because I have had the roots get stuck in the paper towel.
Yeah, they dig in and if you pull it out and you rip it, that's it. You know,
Yep.
that one's toast. So um personally, so there's a lot of breeders out there now, a lot of genetics, right? So if you're, I'd say in general, if you're buying a bag, that you're paying for, okay, whether it's at a local grocery store or buying something online, the paper towel slash coffee filter method, perfect. Okay. Because the majority of those seeds were literally created in a lab in a sterile environment. Okay. Now,
Yeah.
a good option. Okay. So let's say you get yourself some locally sourced seeds. You know, you get your buddy gives you some, you find some in a bag somewhere. Okay. Or maybe you have them laying around in a coffee can. So at that point, because you don't know like all the bacteria and things that have been on them. So what I like to suggest and what I do myself is I'll do tap water. So because the tap water has chlorine in it. So I'll do tap water in like a 10% hydrogen peroxide. And I'll just put them in a shot glass and let all that soak in.
Yeah.
So the sugar, okay, the sugar is a great backup. That's to where if you know where the seeds are and you know they're clean, you go ahead and give them that sugar. I'm doing tap water to try and disinfect it, you know, from like me touching it and God knows who else, you know, sneezed on their hands and was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
here's some seeds, right?
All those months and
Yeah,
years possibly sitting around.
yeah. So as far as like the locally sourced or mystery seed, that would be my suggestion. And that's what I do also is I'm a pretty firm believer in the hydrogen peroxide and tap water, specifically tap water. Just because of the chlorine that's still in it. And again, I have city water. Most people with city water have chlorine in their water.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So now that I
Yeah,
went on that
that's a
little,
good thing to note. I've got a bag that's just full of seeds
yeah,
that,
yeah.
from years and years ago, and every now and again I try. Actually, that stretched out one that I've got is one of those seeds, and
In one of those
it's
mystery
just one of
bags.
those. Yeah, you get a good one every now and again.
Well, and that I tell you, you know, in my few years that I've been growing, the best plant I ever grew was from a mystery seed. I mean, that
Hmm.
thing was just, you know, the one that got away, right? I don't know what the strain was. It grew amazing. It was so frosty, so thick, and I never cloned it. I just grew it and smoked it. And I
Yeah,
regret not
it
keeping
sucks
that
when you
around.
don't clone those.
Oh, yeah, that's you know, that's something we could touch on that too, you know, because a lot of times, so the clones, once you have them established, you kind of treat them just like seedlings. Okay.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
we'll get to that here in a moment. So okay, so we pop our seeds, right? So we got the paper towel method. You throw them in a coffee filter even. You could definitely do the, you know, like a shot glass with water, hydrogen peroxide, sugar water. Okay, so if you know it's a reputable source, okay,
Hmm.
and you know not everyone's like, you know, like I just sneezed and oh, here you go, here's your seeds. So if you're not worried about disinfecting it, yeah, that's when yes, you do the sugar water, okay, and that way once it sprouts, it's already getting that first boost of flavoring, so to say, of things that it wants. Look, Brondo, it's got electrolytes. What plants
Yeah.
crave. So while I'm hitting this, I guess let me ask you this question. So once you get your seeds, okay, what's what's your next step? So you got it sprouted, right? You're literally looking at you know, little seed with a taproot. What's your next step? What do you do?
All right. Well, and I mean, as I've said before, I'm like an old school grower, so I always use like solo cups. Me, that's like the perfect size to just get it started, and I use a small space that I have, and get them seedlings there, and then from the solo cups, I transfer them into the next size up.
So saying that we're talking photo period plants. So what
Yeah.
would your next size up after the solo cups be?
Um. Well, when I was doing them outdoor, for those that want to consider that, I I just they went straight from the solo cup into the ground. The indoors, I I'm trying different things right now. I've got like these square 3.5 gallon buckets that I like a
Yeah.
lot. Um, but then I definitely have to go to that 5 gallon bucket um right before I'm ready to like start doing the flower.
Yeah. Yeah. Doing that one final transplant, week or two right
Yeah.
before flower, let those roots stretch out real good.
Yep. Yep.
That way
Give
it
them
gets the
all sorts of room to grow.
nice. Yeah. So personally, okay, so after I got my seed, so let's kind of back up because again, we're kind of seasoned growers and we're very easily jumping over some steps here. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so something not a lot of people think about. All right. So you get your seed sprouted, whether it's in a paper towel or shot glass, does not matter. You're literally looking at a shell with a little tail poking out.
Hmm.
Don't touch it with your bare hands.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't, okay, don't touch it with your bare hands. Doesn't matter if you go and wash your hands. If you actually wash your hands, there's going to be soap residue. You don't want
Yeah.
soap residue on that shell. If you go in with dirty hands, you got all that oil and bacteria. You don't want that on your shell.
Lotion,
Exactly.
even the like the alcohol hand sanitizer.
Yeah. Yeah. It
It's
don't
got
risk it.
fragrance in it.
Grab a pair of tweezers. If you know, if you have a significant other around the house, who has a bunch of hair products, I guarantee they have a pair of tweezers that they will not notice go missing for like 5 minutes. Okay. But
Yeah.
sanitize it. Okay. Get a little rubbing alcohol pad and sanitize it. But yes, don't use your hands. Don't I've seen so many people do that. And then it's like, I don't know what happened. Like all of a sudden, a couple of them didn't sprout, or oh, this one's got diseases. And I'm like, I don't know, man. It's everything starts in that very early stage. Everything sets in.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, even I mean, if you've got well water, I mean, you might have some sort of parasite in the water that you don't realize.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
it's a million different things. Yeah. Use some alcohol and then, like you said, tweezers. Uh, I can't really think of anything else offhand to use, but tweezers
Yeah,
is
yeah, just rubbing alcohol. Basically, that'll take care of what you need. But yeah, just yeah, don't use your hands. Use a pair of tweezers whenever you're transplanting it from, again, paper towels, shot glass to your first, solo cup or peat moss cup, whatever you're transporting it into. Don't use your hands. So, sorry, I just
mhm.
because we've been doing this for so long, kind of take some of these things for granted.
Oh
That
yeah,
that some
yeah.
people just might start reaching in and yeah,
And then
start.
you get your dirt, and I just use a pencil, to make the hole.
Yep. Yeah. No. Exactly. So yeah, in general, about what, quarter inch deep down into the soil.
Yeah,
You always want to go
you want
ahead.
to make sure it gets covered, and you want to make sure it's got room to go down. Obviously.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So you just barely get it in nice and loose.
Hmm.
Preferably, okay. So, well, let me ask you, okay. So, choice of soil for seedlings. So, what do you normally? What kind of soil do you put your seedlings in?
Um, I mean, back in the day, I would just grab like whatever from the store, and then obviously over the years, I've gotten to like some stuff better than
Sure.
others, and you kind of put me on to that box stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. The Fox Farm. So, personally, yeah. So that's what I'm using. I'm not going to say exclusively, but for the most part, because I mean, good soil is hard to beat. So yeah, for seedling stage, I do like to just use their Happy Frog. So their Happy Frog has basically no nutrients in it, no almost no NPK whatsoever. But it's all
Which is what you want in the early stages like that.
yeah, early stages. You don't want to be trying to feed your seedlings or your sprout like it's not ready. Um, but
No.
that Happy Frog is filled with all and I'm going to butcher the name, but the mycorrhizal fungal inoculate. So this stuff for the roots. Okay, so that's instead of giving you the NPK, they give you all the root. stuff, to promote growth. And then you move into like the ocean forest, which the ocean forest has fat guano and worm castings, which is really high in nitrogen, which will basically carry you through a huge section of the veg period, depending on how long you plan on vegging for.
Yeah, yeah. Which
So yeah, so
I personally I like giving my nutrients too. So I get the it's escaping me off the top of my head, the nutrients that I get. But
uh, the earth juice,
yeah, the earth juice. Yeah. We're
yeah,
not promoting them or anything like that either. It's just something we like to use.
yeah.
Uh,
I mean, exactly.
you could dial
Neither
it
of
in,
us. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you could just. I was just saying you could dial it in and get real specific on what you want to give them.
Right, right. Yeah, no sponsorships for either of us.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure at this point, you're starting to get reached out to. I've been reached out to by I'm currently running a Mars Hydro Light. I literally just had one of their sales rep reach out to me. I literally am rolling their top of the line. I have no real desire to get into some sort of contract with them right now. However, if you have a good product, I'm going to tell everyone about your good product. So
Great.
I
Yeah.
love my Mars Hydro Light. Praise Mars Hydro. I'm not going to get anything from it. Personally, yeah, I use Earth Juice. I did kind of turn you on to them because they're real easy to work with. Again,
Yeah.
not trying to promote, but they don't burn your plants. So you can go kind of you don't have to be so precise with your measurements and everything's going to turn out okay. So,
Right.
again, if you
Yeah.
got a good
Before that, I
product,
was doing. I mean, I had to find so many different sources to get that NPK, and because
well,
I like to focus in on the NPK, and when it needs what, and I think at some point we're gonna do a video on that later, just focusing in on the plants when they need the nitrogen, when they
yeah,
need the
feeding
phosphate,
schedules
and when they
and
need that potassium.
yeah. Yeah, that's yeah, we'll definitely, I mean, we can even kind of pre-plan on maybe doing that because that's definitely something, I mean, we could dive into I could
Yeah.
talk all
Oh
day
yeah.
about nutrients and how the plants take them up. So there's like a certain method to mixing your nutrients so your plants can take them up easier. It's not just, I need all this stuff, throw it in a bucket, okay,
Yeah.
go.
Pour it in.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the compaction.
there is a very specific, if you do it in a specific order, your plants can take it up much easier. But again, we're getting farther ahead of ourselves. So
Yeah. Yeah. That'll be for later.
yeah. So all right, seedlings, kind of getting back to it, right? So at this stage, we got our seeds are, as they say, popped. We got them in our solo cups, and we're kind of, if you're going to go outside with it, you were saying at that point you just kind of put them in the ground outside. Um, Me personally, okay, if we're talking photo periods, I do actually like to do quite a few transfers early on. So I will start in a peat moss, one of the little peat moss cups. Usually at like
Those
Home
are great.
Depot.
Yeah.
Yeah, they come in like 8-pack or 10-pack. Um, so I'll start with that, go to a solo cup, but then that way I can put some more there's this stuff called mycos. And again, it's that same weird mycorrhizal fungal thing that I was trying to say earlier. The same stuff that's in the Happy Frog. You can buy little packages of that. It like Great White is one of the more famous ones right now. The again, mycorrhizal stuff. So you just pour that like around the outside, and every time you transplant it, it promotes the real healthy roots. So I'll go from like peat
Yeah.
moss cup to solo cup to 1 gallon. And depending on the plant and what my plans are, I will sometimes I'll go 1 gallon, 3 gallon, 5 gallon. But then sometimes I'll just go one straight into the big 5 gallon bucket. Just again, if I need to take a bunch of clones from it, I got people I trade clippings with as well as jars. Okay. So if I need to make sure I got some clippings out of it, I'll let it go a little bit bushier to make sure I got some good cuts that those guys can clone off if need be.
Yeah, yeah, which is a great thing to do, sharing phones with each other.
Yeah, that's again, once you get yourself like a little circle, you're trading jars of nugs. If one of you guys gets a really kick-ass plant, because you got to trim it anyway. And there's tips and tricks to literally cloning even real small cuttings. Now it sucks if you take a clone that's that big, it's literally that big. You have to wait for it. You're basically, it's like from a seed. You're just guaranteeing the genetics.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of neat. Once you find like a little community, everyone kind of shares with each other, all the good.
Which is what we're trying to do here,
Yep.
just networking with people, sharing information.
Exactly. And again, nothing, just take everything we say with an opinion. Hopefully it inspires you. Do your own homework, because again, every environment's different. My man over here is in the Midwest. I'm in the Southwest. Our environments are night and day different. And you got to figure out what works for you. Like right now, not to throw you under the bus here, but you have a lot of humidity issues that you're dealing with right now, correct? In your
Oh
tent?
yeah, uh, yep,
Yeah,
in the
I'm
tent.
I'm on the other end of it. Literally, it is 30% humidity in my grow room right now.
Wow.
It's you're in the 80s, I'm in the 30s. If we could meet somewhere in the middle, it would be perfect. But
Yeah, and see what's going on with mine is I have a grow tent, and most people are going, well, what's going on? I have my grow tent outside.
okay,
All right, grow tents are designed to be inside.
yep,
I put mine outside, and I built like a roof over it and some walls around it so that it's not exposed to the rain or anything, but it's still outside and it's getting the sun just beat down on it all the time. So it
yeah,
creates a lot of humidity in there. And at night, if if I don't keep an exhaust fan on or something, it'll just be the humidity will just accumulate in there overnight and then it won't dissipate.
yeah. That is something. Even myself, it, it's you don't really realize till you start growing. So the plants at night is when they do most of their respiratory or sweating. Okay. So at night, yeah, the humidity sky like when I say at night, it's when the lights are off, right? In our tents. That's what we're
Yeah,
referring
yeah,
to at night. So when the lights are off, yeah, the humidity skyrockets. And that's when, yeah, that's a lot of people start running into issues of bud rot, you know, uh, um, well, basically bud rot and then quote unquote overwatering would be a byproduct of it. You start seeing that claw structure going on the leaves. But yeah, it's crazy. So here, let's kind of talk about that real quick. So what's something that you're trying to do to remedy your high humidity that you're running into at night?
I have to keep the exhaust fan going constantly, um, which luckily it's not a very loud one. So, and with the building of the walls around it, it's kind of reducing the sound. So, I'm not keeping people up at night with it. Um, Without that, uh, yeah, the humidity by the time I wake up in the morning, I've had the humidity in the like 80s before.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, it's just horrible. So,
Oh,
and I mean, I try to like, open the tent up, and let it, let some airflow go through there. Um, I'm able to do that during the day
yeah.
because it's in a position with, the walls around it. I open up one of the side doors and we'll let some air in there. If I have to, in the future, I'm going to consider just a dehumidifier.
What's that?
I'm going to consider a dehumidifier.
There you go.
You know,
Yeah.
maybe a
Yeah,
small one to put in there and just, kind of try to control it a little bit more, which a lot of people, you control the humidity in your tents indoors. Um, it's just a little different when you're going to put your tent outside, which
yeah,
not a lot of people maybe think that they can do that. Because a lot of these things have holes in the top for different exhausts and such. So
yep.
if it gets rained on, it's just gonna drip right in. So my
Which
first
you did have
episode,
happen earlier this year, didn't you?
yeah, I actually, I started off, I put like plywood over the top and then a tarp, and I thought that'd be good enough, and it wasn't. So I had to get a little more creative, and I think I finally got it down. We had a rainstorm the last week that was like 2 days long and completely dry.
Nothing.
Yep.
Nice. Nice.
But the
Yeah,
humidity is still messing with me. Uh,
it's you and me both, but opposite directions.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You could
that's
use more.
what's that?
It sounds like you could use more.
I could definitely use more. Yeah, it's what so for again, just me personally, being out here in the desert, something I've kind of been working on. It's because water conservation is pretty big out here. We don't have much of it. We all see what's happening to Lake Mead and whatnot. So, I try my best to not waste. So, like, I don't run a humidifier in my room. That's why it's so dry. Okay. But something I do, again, just personally, to the best I can, is I'll rotate my waterings. Okay. So if you've got, let's just say, okay, for a smaller grower who, just for them. So let's say they got 4 plants going. If you can time it out where you water one plant Monday, different plant Tuesday, different plant Thursday, different plant Friday, and in theory, that very first plant may or may not be ready to go again. But this way, you always kind of have a water source in that room or some humidity. Does that make sense? So instead of like
Right.
everything gets watered Monday, well, then by Wednesday, that whole room's just dry again. If you can kind of rotate it and you have at least like one or two wet buckets, I guess, it'll
Or in my
definitely.
case, it would, maybe reduce the amount of humidity by doing that same thing.
And exactly, yeah. If you're running into the same issue, I don't see why it wouldn't work. Yeah, if you kind of rotate it out, you only have like one bucket breathing
One
at night,
versus versus
all
four,
of them.
five, six.
Yeah, or what we do, which we'll get into that later. Especially
Yeah.
when one of these days we'll talk about states plant count and what's nice is it seems like there's a lot more states jumping on board here. Um, Seems to be a little bit more lax in some of the legal cases, except for Kentucky. Apparently, if you are watching us and you are currently in the state of Kentucky, I feel really bad for you. They got some weird DUI law going for cannabis, to where if you're a routine smoker like most of us are, and you have a very high tolerance, you are technically always impaired on driving a vehicle. I have a buddy on Instagram who literally is going through this right now. He went and dropped his kids off. I think it was at daycare or maybe even at school. Um, Literally on his way back to his house, got pulled over, probably something dumb, three, four, five over. He wasn't doing criminal speed. Okay. Got pulled over. They have some weird like suave test. And like the dude didn't smoke. He was dropping off his kids. He was going back home to smoke, let's be honest, right?
Huh.
But because his tolerance was so high and it just was like in his system, they arrested him on a DWI, driving while intoxicated. Yeah.
Which
So if you're
basically means that he is always impaired.
That's if you have a high tolerance, that's what they're implying is that you are always impaired.
And so obviously, um, Kentucky doesn't have any medicinal.
So, okay, and forgive me because I'm not 100% up on it. I think that's all they have is medicine. I don't think they have
So then
rec.
what is it? So if you have the card then, because obviously you're gonna have a high tolerance if you're getting it
Eh,
as medicine.
Correct. See, yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know. Again,
Yeah.
I didn't get like the guy's going through, but I wasn't going to ask a bunch of details like, oh, tell me
Sure,
more,
sure, sure.
tell me
Yeah,
how you're
yeah.
fucked
Hey,
right now. So
anybody out there from Kentucky, leave
yeah,
some
reach
comments
out.
and tell us what's up.
Let us know.
Yeah.
We're doing good just trying to figure out what our own states are going to let us do, let alone what other people are going through. But yeah,
Because if
it's
it's
crazy.
working like that in Kentucky, you never know what other states are gonna want to try to pull that crap next.
Exactly. The big thing, as long as they don't try to take away our right to grow for ourselves, um,
Yeah.
because that was a big thing. I guess fairly recently, I think it was I watched on the From the Stash podcast, and they just had this
Mhm.
German guy on there, and he was saying that Germany as a country was so against you growing for yourself that they basically give everybody free weed now. In if you are a German citizen in Germany, you can just go to like Walgreens and pick up your weekly supply of government weed, but they will not let you grow for yourself. It's so that's a strange. Why aren't we allowed to grow for
That's
ourselves?
very, very strange in itself.
Yes.
'Cause it's just like, well, what do you want? Why don't you want people to grow? It's not like they're making money. It's
It,
not like they're like, well, hey, we make money off this. We don't want you to grow.
yeah,
We're
it's
giving
it's
it to
pretty
you for free.
it's pretty strange.
They're like,
You know,
look, no, 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 no. We think we know how to grow this the best. We don't want you messing around with it. Here, we'll give you free stuff here.
yeah, that's
Like,
I don't know. I
sign me up for that?
yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'd rather grow for I feel like, okay,
I do like having the ability to grow for sure.
yes.
I
Well,
do.
and let's be honest, okay? So the more seasoned you get in growing, the better you get, right?
Yep.
I can honestly look everybody in the camera right now and say the majority. I'm gonna say, all right, let's be honest. Because like, I'm human. I make mistakes. I can't help the heat. I can't help, there's a lot of things I choose not to address because of where I'm at. I'm going to say 80% of everything I grow is better than anything the dispensaries have to sell. You know, like right now, I got some boofy stuff in there that's going to be like real airy and not compact. Okay, it is what it is. I bet it tastes real good though.
Yeah.
But as you see, and nothing against these dispensaries, but they're turning into like McDonald's. They're machine trimming everything. Everything's on a
Conveyor
conveyor
belt.
belt is what I'm trying to say. It's on an assembly line almost.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're losing that craft
They're
beer, craft.
losing the love. Nobody loves the plants. These are
Exactly.
plants, man. Come on.
They're
Everybody knows plants respond to love.
they yes, yes. That love and attention. You got to get in. You got to, the whole like, oh, you got to talk to your plants. Yes, it is the CO2 you're breathing. So what? Go talk to them. Go hang out with, go touch them. Go stem rub. Go, enjoy your garden. You will get back everything you put into it.
And and growing is a learning curve. You're gonna make mistakes. That's everything you learn is from mistakes. So I mean, I can get an example. My first year, we're talking about seedlings. Um, I had never grown. My
Yep.
buddy that he taught me. Um, he gave me the seeds and he was like, all right, this is what you do. You pop the seeds, put them in the solo cup, and put your light on. And so I did that.
Yeah.
And like a week later, maybe I don't know, maybe 2 weeks. Uh, I get in touch with him. He's like, "How are they?" I'm like, "Man, they are great, man. These things are so tall."
Yeah.
And he's like, "What do you mean tall?" And I was like, "I don't know. They're like about a foot above the cup." And he said, "Oh my god!" And he rushed over right away.
Yeah.
I had the light like
Yep. Yep.
ridiculously high, and these things were
Just
literally like almost a foot above the cup. And he goes, "These things are just gonna flop all over the place." And
yeah.
so yeah, I mean that was a mistake I learned, and luckily we just took them and we kind of twirled them around and re-put them down into the cups and lowered the
Yep.
light, and we were actually able to save them all.
Yeah. So yeah, let's touch on that just real quick. So that's what they call leggy seedlings, where they stretch real long.
Yeah,
So yeah, definitely. Yeah, you have two ways you can deal with that. Okay, so step one is yes, the reason you get that is because the light is too far. Okay. What you can do, all right, once you fix the light situation, and you kind of just briefly touched on it, but this is my favorite fix. Literally, kind of replant them or add more dirt. Okay, because
yeah,
if you that whole everything, all that stem that gets buried will start growing roots.
yeah.
So
It's root. Yeah,
yep. So you just bury it, you cover it more with dirt back to an appropriate size, and everything that's under the soil is going to start sprouting and really kind of help that thing catch back on to where it should be. But yeah, no, I see a lot of stretchy leggings on like Twitter and Instagram, and you try to
yeah.
offer
I
help,
mean,
but
if you catch it early, just lower your light,
yep,
and it probably won't be a big deal. Obviously, if you did the numbskull thing that I did, and just was like, "Hey, great, they're growing so big. Look at that, they're
right,
so," yeah, you're gonna have to take them out and replant them.
yeah, nice.
But don't fret, they can be safe.
Absolutely. Yeah, don't let, there's a lot of negativity out there. A lot of people like to trash, other people's grows and other people's efforts. Don't get caught up in it. You can do it. Everyone can do it. It's, a little bit of effort goes a long way.
So everybody have a good morning.
All right. We'll catch you guys on the next one. You have a great day.